What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? All right, we're gonna talk about Akhamamir. Akhamamir, what a name! But anyway, so let's see what he gets first. When he's awakened, he gets increased critical rate by 15%, which is good for him. Increased accuracy of ally monsters by 41%. Emits magical energy to attack all enemies. The damage increases by 20% for each harmful effect on the enemies. Alright. Attacks all enemies and stuns them with a 30% chance. The damage is proportionate to my max HP. Attacks with magical powers and inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns with a 50% chance. The damage increases according to your attack speed. Alright. From what I see here, you can go either Despair. The thing about Despair runes is that you could go Despair Blade. The thing about Despair runes is he already has a stun here, but he has 2 AoEs, so people want to utilize that with him. And Despair isn't a bad idea. It's actually a pretty good idea. What I do like about him is his leader ability actually works out for you, because you want to put as many debuffs on him as possible, and you want this skill to hit as hard as possible as well. Now, you could go Despair Blade. Let's say you're in the beginning, because I think he's a beginning monster. Alright, I don't think, like, if you have a Lucian or 2 Lucians, he's kind of useless for you. But, and I'll be honest with everybody, I pulled him and I put him in storage for now, or he could be in my monsters or whatever. I haven't found the use for him, but now that I'm reading his skills, he might be alright for TOA hard. Alright. How would I ruin him though? Seriously, me personally, now let's talk about in the beginning first of all. In the beginning, when you first pull him, I would go like Fatal Blade Fatal Blade, and try and get the most out of this skill. Try and get like Beretta would be good with him. A lot of monsters would be good with him. But in the beginning, attack, attack, attack. Why do I say attack? I've said this many times, because if you don't have a high enough crit rate, which to be honest with you, alright, so he starts off with a 30% crit rate, and if you put Blade, 42%. If you can find an additional 13% crit rate in substats, go attack, crit damage attack. Yes, even in the beginning, if you get lucky enough and you get the additional 13% in substats, go attack, crit damage attack. But if you don't get the additional 13%, go attack, 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 attack. Alright? Now, as you're progressing and you're going along, yeah, you could go Despair Blade. Despair Blade isn't a bad mix for him. I would still go attack, even though this skill is based on HP. See, what I don't like is this skill is based on speed. This skill is based on max HP, on his own max HP. And then this one is based off of his attack. Now, look, you're not utilizing this skill for damage. This skill is more for crowd control. So, don't even worry about his max hit points. Alright? This is based off of speed, yes. You're really not utilizing him for this either. You are and you aren't. Alright? I would seriously work on trying to get this to hit as hard as possible. Now, let's say you're in mid-game now. You can go Despair Blade. I would still try and do like Fatal Blade on him, just to get this skill to hit as hard as possible. Honestly, an end-game build, I'm seriously considering to say Violent Blade, because this goes down to a 3-turn cooldown, which can be devastating. And this, I think he would be alright. Excuse me. I think he would be alright for TOA hard. Really. I really do think he would be alright for TOA hard. Because he can increase the accuracy of your ally, of all your monsters. And in TOA hard, you have to depend on dots. You have to depend on quite a bit. So, For every dot that you put on, he's going to do 20% more damage for every weakening effect that you put on. And then if he does this skill, and then Violent Procs and does this skill, like they have a stun that's an additional weakening effect. It will hit an additional 20%. So it can work out. The problem is against bosses in TOA, you really can't stun them. And when you try and put weakening effects, it's really, really tough to work with him. But for a beginning monster, and you're trying to do, and you haven't pulled Lucian, and you want to do B10 Giants, he's the perfect monster for B10 Giants. Perfect if you don't have Lucian, and you need an attacker. He's 100% the perfect monster, especially for this skill. This skill probably hits really, really hard if you land a lot of debuffs on the Giant. So he's a little underrated by the higher up players, because whatever, we really don't need him, especially if you have two Lucians. Seriously, I really don't want to keep going back and forth with this, but if you have a wind damage dealer, and as I've said it many times, wind monsters don't shine in this meta, okay? Because this of all of the fire monsters on defense, you know? So, and he's an attack monster too. That's the thing. It's like wind attackers don't really get a chance to shine at all. And he has a really nice base attack also. He's really not that bad. It's just, he's more for dungeons and TOA and stuff like that. He's not for PvP purposes. I really think he's a great B10 Giants monster. If I didn't have, you want to hear something funny? I 6-starred my second Lucian, and then I summoned Ifrit, and I ended up getting this one. I was hoping for Tessarion, but look, I'm not telling you guys not to work on him. If you are in the beginning and you need a monster for dungeons and stuff like that, he's the perfect candidate. Perfect. He will boost you in the beginning. Towards the end, you're gonna stop using him, but he's not a complete waste of time. He's going to save you a lot of time in the beginning, trying to get past most dungeons. So I wouldn't say he sucks. I don't think he sucks. I've seen videos with people foddering him. I think that's wrong. He's a natural 5-star. You don't fodder natural 5-stars. Even though you can get him again, you don't fodder natural 5-stars. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. Sorry I didn't have the best of information for him, but he's so, like, he's underrated, but he's not overrated, let's put it that way. He's an average monster. I don't think he's a worthless monster at all. If somebody, I'm going to say it one more time too, if somebody really, really needs a damage dealer for dungeons, especially B10 Giants, I would absolutely work on him for B10 Giants. Thanks everybody. I'll talk to everybody later.